The time has come for my section of the episode, and I shall review my favorite comedy, Monty Python's Meaning of Life. I've always had an admiration for the Pythons' brand surreal black humor, and this film, in my opinion, is the best example of that at more than 30 years later. The opening shot of the Crimson Plane Insurance, screened a couple of years at the time, Jesus sets the tone for what lies ahead. For performances by John Cleese, Eric Idle, Terry Gilliam, Terry Jones, Michael Palin, and Graham Chapman. So many just every aspect of modern life. The family striking back against multinational oppressors is just a typical expert of what can be seen. The film opens proper on a group of fish with the face of pythons, if it was age, but still, works because of Terry Jones at the helm. In a way that can only exist in that time period, it's quite charming, and seeming as Abel Akbar in Return of the Jedi. Dark humor on display, he's further combated official Minty that their friend is now the main course at dinner. Get more Terry Gilliam's iconic animated sequences, managing to combine the surreal, the meaningful and provocative over the course of the opening credits. Even more than any other comedies I've seen accomplished in the entire runtimes. The first major sequence is shown Miracle of Birth, showing something how beautiful is making the first moments of a child's life, so they offers to the hospital staff. I admire how proud they seem of the equipment, even though the best admire is seeing which the machine that goes bing. While I'm not pleased with Google Plus integration to this day, until I then get a little ping every time someone mentions one of my videos or posts. Then cut to the next part of the Miracle of Birth, in the third world, Yorkshire. Oh, those pythons not always not being about their background. This one of the more controversial sequence of the film, screening leaves regarding birth control degree of picking home for children by a Dickens novel. It's done through who the cluster line twice song, every sperm is sacred. The lyrics are indeed offensive the way only pythons could be. If the voice indeed acquired make it that much more hilarious. There's also quite a bit of great dance choreography and great set design to highlight this even further. Capped off for the couple who doesn't share the same mindset. Anyone can show one side of the debate. It takes real courage to be an equal opportunity offender. To show their ridiculous nature of war today, regardless of where they come from and what they believe in. Moving right along, the next sequence is on growth and learning. A primary school that takes the material very seriously. One of the many roles John Cleese plays in the film is a professor that just wants to prepare students for what lies ahead, give a little thought to the idea of dreams and fun. He's a teacher that will be the envy of the faculty in Pink Floyd's The Wall. What's more, Cleese breaks the illusion of pirate school's reputation for pleasance and material one has when the raunchiest scenes of committed steroid, potential lecture visual aids. His delivery of the line to me is done in such a manner that would make separate from and feel positively minuscule. Its old transition to rugby match makes a concern about sports violence and new from Federation World Cup seems downright benign by comparison. And then get a scene that shows only brutality of war, but also shows how many soldiers are thrown into a situation that's far bigger than anything realize. The way the actors converse with each other in their firebombing ways is both poignant and side-splitting, given the period costumes being juxtaposed with the conversation as if it were a birthday party. Even as being picked off one by one, they seem more concerned about the cake than their lives. Quickly followed by the argument of having opinions nothing if you're not willing to stand by it, no matter what others think. The course of having this channel gotten considerably better at doing just that. May I tell you, comment doesn't end there, as it covers home life on base, and the involvement in Zulu that is comically serious, and how the actors blithely talk about situations they have very little to laugh about otherwise. John Cleese stressing Eric Idle's character of many over his leg, has been bitten off by a tiger, being looked over by a field dog who has a talent for dealing bad sense of peace. Even when the culprit is a tiger, rather it's Eric Idle and Michael Palin in the costume, trying to come up with an excuse for why they have done so. Now the time has come for the middle of the film. It's time to play a game of Find the Fish. Can you find it one of the most bizarre sequences ever filmed? Let me know if you have, because we move on to middle age. Much like many films, the Python means when they went their separate ways, show many oddities of life for trying to find its meaning. Even when the individual is something that they can decide. Also in dinner in a medieval dungeon-themed restaurant. Then deal possibly with live organ transplants. And this sequence may very well influence the cult musical both than genetic opera. The scene is one of the most memorable of its type, as most scenes of its type are. It is truly a live organ transplant, followed off my favorite song in this film, Gathers performance of the Galaxy song. Apart from being a wonderful presentation of Python's worldview, has some very research information, and the universe and just how parts of it just part of a larger understanding. Rejoining Crimson Punishment, Tentai stone upon us yanks in a philosophical discussion. Tree is just another boardroom meeting. Then we transition will be my favorite sequence, the autumn years. We have this shown a lively scene in a fancy restaurant, which Eric Idle sings a very ballady song in the most cheery, Brokeback-like way. Then all that change we see the entrance of Master Mr. Creosote. Presentation on all steps one that makes Fat Bastard look like Liam Hemsworth. He orders the entirety of the specials, along with 6 crates of ale. He's been trying to cut back. Even so, a wafer thin mint will prove too much. The strong leads the waiter encouraging it. That's one of the best practical effects of that time. He bursts all over the restaurant, much to the disgust of the patrons. Then we reach the final act, in which immediately is just that, whatever the individual makes it out to be. As everyone tries to clean up the creosote's remains, discussing what represents everything about Python style. Hell, from the imagery, the way the managed to make me laugh and many others laugh about things that the heavy other laugh about otherwise. Eric Idle guides us to a home in the countryside we once lived as a child. His speech is simple yet fettered and portraying the mystery of life. With all the action, we deal with the ideal change of any black comedy, death. This is by far proof that they can do black comedy well, that can joke about something almost anything else never can. Throughout, a final sequence of a dinner party at Assembly Heaven, Mike Payne drags signing us off, simultaneously ends a final collaboration period of the Pythons, what I consider to be their magnum opus. With a Mr. Death coming about the heap of many figures that influenced me, I'm realizing I can't go on forever. I don't really want to try, but I want to be remembered as someone who to be missed. The 2 comedic figures that helped shape me, Heathers Ensemble gone, the impressive one ahead of me can still be seen in my taste in comedy. Direction, timing, and prompts the culmination of almost 20 years of these people working together. I must go, I'll go on a smile. You say it didn't let me on. Though we've gotten much better at dramatic, introducing dry humor in those setups, I do not believe there will ever be a comedy I will enjoy as much as this one. It's been my favorite comedy for 10 years, stood the test of time for 30 years. One final Bobsy Berkeley number, clearly a comic theme song ministers where they walks. I should continue to enjoy their works, as even all sorts of comedy trends come and go. If I remain 4 out of 4, I intend to maintain the channel to the 700th episode. Whether or not it will be the end will depend on how the coming months go.